Today's video is sponsored by MoviePalette, where you can get a really awesome piece of canvas art like the one I have right here that is centered around movies and movie lovers, and you can get it for cheap, but you gotta wait to find out at the end of the video. Why are movies about movies so damn good? Maybe it's just me, but I'm entranced not just by the medium of film, but the making of film. How do we get that product on screen? There's no better way to get a look behind the scenes of movies than making a movie about movies. Film is a hugely complicated process that takes hundreds of people and thousands of man-hours. The attention to detail is astounding, and the love and passion put in is second to none. There was no one more passionate about the art of movies than Steven Spielberg. From a kid who was just entranced as we were in the movie theater, to one of the greatest directors of all time, the story of Spielberg is one backed by passion, persistence, and a whole lot of hard work. But it isn't always like that for him. There were moments of doubt. Long periods of time without him even picking up a camera. But he finally got to the point where he made the move to make that passion a career. The anticipation for this film was at an all-time high. The genre of autobiographical films has been a huge fad this year and has yet to actually be done well. But with Spielberg at the helm and an incredible cast, I had all the faith in the world that this would really be something special. Now look, I love Spielberg, and I think he's one of the greatest directors we've ever been so lucky to have. But there is a narrative going around that he's lost his touch, and he just isn't as good as he used to be. I, for one, strongly disagree with that. I loved West Side Story, Ready Player One, and The Post quite a bit, but those arguments are out the door when it comes to the Fabelmans. Spielberg is fully and truly back. Movies are all about passion. The thing that draws me to these autobiographical films is the passion you have involved to tell that type of story. If you're telling your own story, there has to be some sort of passion involved, right? This is something that has lacked in the other films like this year. With Spielberg, though, you knew this was going to be something special. All the interviews and the write-ups talk about how personal this was for Spielberg, how vulnerable he really needed to get to do the story justice. He needed to go to places that he had once walled off and dive into the stories that he may have never wanted to tell, but needed to, because those are the key aspect in who he is today. The thing I love so much about The Fabelmans is that this film isn't a film about making movies at all, like the trailer may suggest. This is a film about a boy trying to figure out who he wants to be, what he wants to do in life, while also struggling with a broken home life. I know I spent the first few minutes talking about how much I love movies about movies. This film is a step just further. It is at the core a film about one of the most renowned directors ever, how he grew his love for the art, and saw how film can affect people. This film has a lot to say about two things in particular. What is art, and that struggle between passion and substance. We all get to that point in our lives when we have to grow up, start to become adults, and figure out what the hell we want to do with our lives. This is a difficult decision because life is hard and you don't always get to do what you truly want. This is the struggle between passion and substance. This storyline is the center of countless stories. Dreamers looking to accomplish their biggest dreams and follow their passions. Sound familiar? In The Fabelmans, this is actually shown, not just in Sam, but it's illustrated more properly in the home dynamic of his parents. His mother is the creative, a gifted piano player, who's always looking to create, where his father is the logical one, always looking to do what is best for survival, and what makes the most logical sense. You can have a balance of both logic and creativity, and I believe that is where Sam comes in. He has very deep relationships with both of his parents, and uses different experiences with them as lessons to shape his perspective on life. This yin-yang dynamic was shown very well in the film. However, it isn't until the end that I think it truly comes full circle, and we finally get the conclusion we have always been looking for. There are moments throughout the film where Sam wants to shut out the creative side. For one reason or another, each time he has something happen to him that shows him that his passion can have some real tangible effect. The scene I love the most at the end of the film, where Sam and his father Bert, played by Dano, have a discussion about what Sam wants to do with his life. This is the first time that we really see the father accept the son for what he wants to be. Sam can't try to live up to the expectations of his father anymore. And creating movies and following his passion is what he really wants to do. As much as he would prefer for Sam to get a college degree and do something of substance, Bert realizes that no matter what Sam ends up doing, he's going to give it his full effort and passion, because that's what matters most. The acceptance is the final straw that Sam needs to fully commit to fulfilling those dreams and going all in. And I loved that. If you take one thing from this film, is that there is a balance. You can be both creative while also being logical. Spielberg's story is fascinating, and he continues to inspire with his passion and his art. But before we go, let's get down to the nitty-gritty. I've spent this entire video talking about the writing, so why don't we hear more?
And the performances are phenomenal. Michelle Williams, of course, is going to be up for Oscar buzz. I think she's absolutely brilliant. But I also believe that Paul Dano is fantastic in his own right. He carries the film with some really nice emotion of his own. None of this would be possible, though, without the stellar performance from Gabriel LaBelle, who is a powerhouse. I mean, talk about storming onto the scene. Really, really good. The direction from Spielberg is also fascinating, and the cinematography is just very beautiful to look at. It's a really beautiful movie if you really pull back the layers. You know with Spielberg that the technical is going to be top-notch. He doesn't disappoint, once again. While the runtime might be a little too long, The Fabelmans is a beautiful look at passion, and how our passions can make real change in the world. Performances are brilliant, the technical shines, and the writing is some of the best of the year in my opinion. If you love movies, you need to watch this one. Because Spielberg is fully back, ladies and gentlemen, even though he probably didn't really ever leave. So for the final time, stop doubting Steven Spielberg.
Hey, how's it going, everybody? End of video Jack here. Thank you all so much for watching whatever video you just watched. I really appreciate it. Don't know what video it is because I filmed this ahead of time, but I appreciate it nonetheless. But today, before you go, we got a package to unbox, and I'm going to tell you about a new sponsor on the channel that you can get yourself some pretty cool swag as well. But basically what happened as I'm unboxing this, the people over at Movie Palette reached out and said, hey, Jack, we want to send you a free palette of your choosing, and all you have to do is talk about it on your video. And yeah, and I replied, bet. So they sent me over my very own Movie Palette, one that I got to choose, and I got a special deal that I'll tell you at the end of this where you can get your own and you can get it for cheap. So I'm going to take it out of the box. Oh, yeah. So basically, if you don't know what Movie Palette is, it is a canvas piece of art that encapsulates the color palette of any movie you want. You go to their website, moviepalette.com. They have a huge selection of palettes for you. Please excuse me while I rip this bad boy open so I can get it out and show it to you guys. This thing looks amazing. I knew it would because I know that Movie Palette has very high quality product and they always look great. So, I'm gonna take the palette out, move it away. I'm gonna take the wrap off of it so we can get the full effect. And like I said, canvas pieces of art that encapsulate the color palette of your favorite movie. Can you guys guess? Go into the comments and guess what movie this is before I reveal it to you. If you know me, you probably know we're going, of course, with La La Land. We had to. And this is a beautiful piece of art from Movie Palette. And if you go to Movie Palette right now and you go get your own palette, you can use code JACK15. What happens when you use code JACK15? You get 15% off your order, which I think is pretty cool. And it also supports me and it supports the channel. Thank you all so much for watching. Thank you to Movie Palette for sending me over my own palette and for supporting the channel. I really do appreciate it. None of this would happen if it wasn't for you guys supporting the channel. It means the absolute world. Thank you all for watching. We'll see you in the next video.